Diplomacy doesn't work, but in these kind of situations, I think you have to be Finnish. Take a deep breath, take a cold bath, sauna, breathe, get back to the negotiating table. These things happen sometimes.
What's the way forward?
The way forward is to get President Zelensky and President Trump to communicate again and to get a minerals deal. I think that'll probably be a tipping point for a bigger deal towards a ceasefire and then towards peace negotiations. I don't think we are as far away as probably the public indicates.
We heard from the NATO Secretary General that it is up to President Zelensky to repair his relationship with President Trump. Do you agree?
I think it always takes two to tango. You know, sometimes what happens in marriage or in other types of relationships, you sort of go into your corner and sulk, but you have to come out of there, have a conversation, shake hands, and move on.
And do you think we're close to that point?
I hope we're moving. I mean, I think one of the things that we're trying to do in London with this summit organized by British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is to get a reading of the 3 meetings that were held with President Trump last week, take the best parts of it and find a way forward.
What does Europe need to do now, though?
We need to have a plan. One of the problems is that we have sort of this cacophonic diplomacy. We have different types of groupings and organizations dealing with different types of things. If we want to have an initiative, there needs to be a European and Ukrainian peace plan with which we can then...
Breaking news. Federal government makes U-turn, denies Simon Èkpá's extradition claim. This is actually a good news for every Biafran lover and Mazi Simon Èkpá's followers, concerning the issue of the extradition of Mazi Simon Èkpá, which has actually been the major issue that the Zoo government has been holding on to. I could remember when a particular news, continued trending on social media spaces when we heard that Simon Èkpá was going to be extradited back to the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria. Yeah, so it has been a very big issue. But, the good news today is that the federal government have come out to make U-turn. And I've told the public to avoid speculation. It is not going to work. I've said it over and over again concerning the extradition of the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá Njoku. Let us go into the news in details. The news. The Attorney General of Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, has distanced himself from reports suggesting that the federal government has begun extradition proceeding against separatist agitator Simon Èkpá. In a statement issued on Friday by Kamarudin Ogundele, Special Advisor to the President on Communication and Publicity, Office of the AGF, Fagbemi said the media report misrepresented his remark at the stakeholder/citizen engagement forum held Thursday in Abuja. To set the record straight, what the Attorney General of Federation said during the question and answer session was that the Nigerian government had been engaging with Finnish authorities to ensure that Simon Èkpá is held accountable for his action, the statement reads. Fagbemi reportedly noted that the offenses linked to Èkpá was cross-border in nature and that Nigeria was monitoring ongoing legal proceedings in Finland before deciding its next move. He explained that since the crimes committed by Simon Èkpá were cross-border in nature, the Nigerian government eagerly awaits the outcome of the proposed trial in Finland to make an informed decision on the next step to take, Ogundele added. The Attorney General of Federation also urged the media to exercise caution and avoid speculative reporting on such a sensitive issue. Our news platform reports that Simon Èkpá, the leader of the indigenous, the Prime Minister of the indigenous of the Biafran Republic government in Ezza, is currently on trial in Finland, where he faces terrorism-related charges. But I have to clear the issue of the terrorism-related charges because the information coming up, lately concerning the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoku is that, the major problem, the major reason why it's being held is majorly because of insightful words, according to them, not particularly about terrorism. We'll be giving you more update on that because, the news of the Finnish government giving a report on Simon Ekpa and the update concerning his trial is already out. I posted it in one of the news channel, and honestly speaking, based on that information, I believe, just like I said, the issue of Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoku is going to be something that will come to an end very soon, except it is politically orchestrated. International politics is another problem that, Biafran heroes are having. For example, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, could have ended since. But because of the fact that, politics is fully involved, international communities who are affected by Biafran freedom are also engaging themselves. For example, UK, because Biafrans are trying to, remove themselves from anything that is related to UK because of the part that the United Kingdom played, in the Biafran Nigerian Civil War. We all know this. We all know that the hands holding Simon Ekpa, the hands holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not just local, it's not just the zoo. If it's about the zoo alone, in as much as we know of the corruptions and the ill practices, the corruption in the zoo, the lawlessness, the anarchy in the zoo, we know. But if it was only about the zoo, other international communities, because I knew how Amnesty International came, how they spoke. In fact, not just Amnesty International, the United Nations. The United Nations ordered the zoo government twice to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu immediately. That was when I knew that the whole issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I said Mazi Simon Ekpa, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the issue of international politics. If the United Nations could give an order to the Nigerian government concerning the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu, and yet the Nigerian government failed to obey that order, then there is a problem. In fact, that is even my major fear in this whole thing, in the whole court trial. In as much as the court trial is, if they should follow the rule of law, this whole thing is already favoring Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Also, if the Finnish government are just in their ruling, in their trial against Simon Ekpa Njoku, he's going to come out, clean. It's as simple as that. Self-defense is not a crime. All this whole thing they are trying to put on, against Simon Ekpa Njoku is actually just, politically orchestrated. And we know the truth of the matter. There are top international communities that are fully interested in the case of the Biafran heroes. No be today it starts. It is not a question of it is just starting. No, it's been there for a very long time. So, first of all, the good news is that at least the zoo, because the fake news was spreading all over. I kept on shouting. I was telling our people majorly that you people should avoid the news, the informations coming from the zoo media. They will always speak in favor of their people. It's as simple as that. Just the same way we always speak in favor of the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa and Biafrans, always speaking out the truth against these these attacks and this ill treatment, by the zoo government and other international communities. So at least for the AGF, the Attorney General of the Federation of the zoo, to come out openly to say, these news are actually misleading, then there is a problem for them. It is because they've tried every means that they can. And at the end, they came out with nothing. Oh, you think they've not been trying? Yes, they've been trying. They've been trying every means to extradite the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. When I knew was when Musa came out and said it. Initially, he was bragging about it. Then later, he went cold about it. That was when I knew that the zoo government have actually lost the fight against extraditing the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. So that is one good step for the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. We'll keep on giving you other information concerning the immediate release of the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and every innocent Biafran being held all over the world. Even as Ibrahim Traore, visited Finland, concerning the court case of Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoku. We'll give you more news on that later. Please make sure you share this video to as many groups and platforms as possible. Thank you once again for joining us on this wonderful news.